G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the east side of the map in the color teal, playing as the Abbasid dynasty. He's back, ladies and gentlemen, playing some hardcore Age of Empires. It's Beastie. And on the west side of the map in the color green, playing as the Mongols, we've got Attila. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. We are here on Lipany watching Beastie take on the Mongols as he plays hardcore Age of Empires 4. If you haven't already checked it out, then I'll make sure I leave a link in the description to where you can watch it happen. He's trying to get to rank 1 on the ladder, trying to do it without losing 10 games. The trick is, if he loses with the civilization, he can no longer play that civ. So if he loses this game today, that's the Abbasid dynasty crossed out. He can't play it anymore. It'll mean that he'll have to play other civilizations like the Chinese. Ugh, who wants to play them? In this matter, in 2023, no thank you. Well, to be honest, I'd happily play them. But I'm excited to see the kind of game that we're going to have today because the flavor of the month has, of course, been Fast Imperial. The one thing to note, though, is neither of these civilizations have ever attempted a Fast Imperial before. We've got the Abbasid dynasty, which takes a damn long time to get up each age, and it just naturally wants to try and focus in on that castle age where it's extra strong, eventually getting to the Imperial age, but it's always a bit of a delay. And the Mongols, on the other hand, they love to focus on that early game, really try and avoid the late game. There's not really much going for them there. I mean, they've got the really good Springolds, but there's no real incentive to get up there, so it's unlikely that we're going to see anything like that today. But what's important to note is that Attila here is playing a more greedy style of Mongols. There's no early aggression. One of the things that you expect most against the Mongol, or as the Mongols, are those spearmen. You expect to see them coming out, and I think this is a really smart move by Attila not to fall into this trap. Now, keep in mind, Attila is a really good player, currently rated 2K. That's pretty damn good. But why might it be a trap? Well, in this matchup, there's a very good chance that our Abbasid player is going to be looking for an early military wing. And by going for that early military wing, it will guarantee that the defense will be extra quick against any kind of aggression. You can see that there are 2 spearmen and 2 archers that come with that age 2, age up. And we see Beastie about to click up. Just needs 15 more food. There it is, and it is indeed the military wing. So even if you look to get aggressive out here, you know, imagine there's spearmen making their way across the map. Worst case scenario, all Beastie does is he deletes the mining camp. And then you're kind of sitting there with your spearmen, twiddling your thumbs. What am I going to do with these spearmen? Well, they can't really do much. I'm going to try and put down an outpost. Well, now the enemy, once they hit that important feudal age, they're just going to absolutely destroy you. And we've seen it time and time again with that aggression, that it just gets denied out by the Abbasid. They're very good at doing this. Now, see, Attila looking to put down the deer stones. He throws them down inside the base. He's had a really nice run with the sheep. We can see he's got plenty under the TC, and he's got 9 more to go. So he's had a lovely time. And now, look at this. At the same time, pushing the gur, or rather pushing the deer out into this gur. He's very, very close to this deer pack. He's actually got quite a nice base. You know what? I'm going to compliment him on this base. This is an absolutely magnificent Mongol base. He has got plenty of resources in this one. He's got the double Uvu as an option here. So the deer stones going down makes a lot of sense. It means he's going to try and keep things compact here. And you can always look to try and get out early. And I'm curious what kind of unit comp we're going to see from him today. Whether it's going to be Kesiks, whether it's going to be men-at-arms in the castle age. He's got a lot of options available to him. And it is looking like it's going to be a stable opening. So we'll have to see whether he goes into horsemen here. Keep in mind, he's on the Uvu. Yet to use up any of that stone. Got plenty in the bank for it as well. And that scout coming through from Beastie spots out exactly what his enemy's up to. Did the right thing by going into the stable rather than going into the barracks. But I wonder if it gets to the point where we're going to start seeing metagaming happening, where, as an example, in this situation, Beastie would know that the Mongol player isn't going to attack him because he's playing as the Abbasids, and because of that, he doesn't need to go for the military wing. He can always threaten to go for the military wing, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing players go into the eco wing or something again, just because, don't get me wrong, it's nice having the military here, but at the end of the day, you don't need it if your enemy's not putting on that pressure early on, because the reality is that he's going to be able to deal with any kind of aggression that comes out. We do now start to see Kesik's in queue. He's got double lancers. It says double lancer. It's not lancer. Get out of here. Look at this. It still says lancers. It's Kesiks, mate. They're Kesiks. Get him out of here. Harden Khan under a little bit of pressure. And I think, if anything, it's nice to have the military just to pressure the Khan off, because the Khan can be very annoying. It doesn't really do a lot of damage, right? Like 3 damage, but it's still it's still annoying, right? So I think that's important to note. But we do see Beastie looking to play a little bit defensive. Barracks coming down here. He's obviously scouted out on the enemy side of the map. He did see that stable coming up, so does naturally do the right thing. If you see a rock on the other side, it's natural for you to go for paper. Obviously, if you see a scissors, you've got to make sure that you go for a rock. And in this case, it looks like Beastie's going to be able to rock the world of his opponent as those Kesiks are now out on the field, looking to join up with the Khan. T1 upgrade coming through. Right on board with Attila as he looks to try and find some villagers. He's going to loop around towards this top side here. You can see that it's the forest has linked together with the cliffside, and it looks like he will cop a little bit of damage here. He's going to try and pick off the spearman. Keep in mind, these Kesiks do heal up. He's going to be able to get one of them. He's got to be careful not to lose it, though. 2 health, and it is going to go down, losing that Kesik very early on. And is he just ignoring the spears? No, okay. He was attacking it, but we do see that second spearman joining the party. I mean, technically, it's the third spearman that's joined the party, coming through from that barracks that Beastie put down. So definitely making the right call in dropping down that barracks, but he'll be looking for a second TC now. And the question is, where do we go from here? There's a couple of options open to Attila. Number one is he can look for that second TC. We've been seeing a lot of Mongol TCs lately at the high level. They've been going for some interesting strategies. We'll cover that on the channel shortly. But obviously we want to try and focus on what's going on with Beastie as well, because I tell you what, I'm excited to see whether he's going to be able to do it. I think he's already got about 5 or 6 losses, so there's not a huge amount of civilization variety that he's got left, but you can see the Kesik's going to come out now. Definitely the right call to get more and more spears out, but the numbers are looking good for him. He's trying to get that heal off, and you can see beautiful micro, but unfortunately misses out. 2 Kesiks going down already in this game, and it looks like Beastie should be able to hold on that stone. There we go, 393, throws down that second town center. Where's it going to go down? Oh my god, look at how he already has the villagers in position. This is impressive from Beastie. This is not something that you often see from players. The foresight to say, well, I'm about to finish gathering up all the stone that I need, and then having those villagers ready to drop down that town center. So really nicely played there. Attila's going to spot it out. Now, we mentioned one of his options a bit earlier, the fact that he could go into the second TC. The other option he's got is Castle Age. Obviously, the Mongols get quite a bit of a decent bonus when they get to Castle Age. There's a huge number of resources that they've got available to them, mainly through the Step Redoubt. So, which is going to buff up all of the gold that you're gathering. So instead of gathering 10 gold every drop off, you're gathering, I think it's 14 gold. I think I'm pretty sure they nerfed the Step Redoubt. It used to be 15 gold to drop off. Now it's down to 14, so it's 40% rather than 50%. But it's still a pretty damn good landmark. It allows you to pull those resources out of thin air, because realistically, if you were to take this over to a 4K mine, it's no longer 4K. It's closer to 6K, which is very, very nice. But we'll check in on Beastie and see how he's doing on this south side. We'll ride on board with him a little bit, as he does have the scout over on the enemy side of the map. Speaking of the enemy side of the map, we do indeed see that Step Redoubt coming down on the gold vein, just to the top side of it. So looking to head towards that Castle Age. And he's got a beautiful spot down on this south side. Keep in mind, we are playing on Lipany. In Lipany, there are more berry spawns than your normal map. Instead of having those 3 standard berry spawns, it's got 5. So it always allows you a little bit more flexibility as an Abbasid player, but Beastie being careful to avoid losing another villager. He's already lost 1 so far. Now looking to go into a couple more military production buildings. He's got a single archery range out at the moment, but he's going to be moving into 3 archery ranges. This is big. So could be teeing off towards that feudal age play. He's going to be up against aggression, though, in the Castle Age. That is for sure. Typically, you're going to be seeing those men-at-arms come out. We'll check in with Attila and see how he's doing. It is indeed going to be men-at-arms coming out. We can see the barracks being thrown down. A little bit of an outpost on the gold vein. Not going to be able to find it, though. It does get cancelled. He's going to have to throw it down again. Double spearman moving out to protect. Should be able to hold it off for the moment. And Attila doing a decent job of reaching Castle Age quite early in this game. I'm hoping that we see him look to pick up relics. Do we have the monastery going down just yet? Or rather, the prayer tent going down just yet? And it doesn't look like it. Instead, there's a lot of focus here on the gold. Have a look at this. 13 villagers on gold. Going into specialized pick. Going into wheelbarrow. Interesting timing to be going for these landmark, or these upgrades. But I guess it makes sense, right? After you've got that extra income coming through from the Step Redoubt. Actually, I take it back. It's not 40%. It is 50%. I don't know where I thought that got nerfed. But anyway, it's still 50% gold. So it's a decent amount of gold that is coming through. But now we start to see Beastie in the base beginning to build plenty of units here. He's cognizant of a threat of cavalry. I think the biggest problem might be for him men-at-arms, because realistically, how do you deal with that? You're building up a whole bunch of archers, a whole bunch of spears, but the men-at-arms are just going to shred through everything. So Attila now up to 4 men-at-arms. Might not seem like a lot, but they're going to take a while to die. Keep in mind, the upgrades for Beastie are yet to come through on the blacksmith, which means that these units are doing only 5 range damage for the archers, only 8 melee damage for the spearmen. It means that the men-at-arms are going to be taking barely any damage from those units as they fight them out. Fortunately, there's a decent mass of them here. Also to note, there are camels in play, which can pierce that armor pretty effectively. They've got 12 ranged attack. It's just that they're very expensive. There's not very many of them. Once you get to that mass, that golden number, about 9 or 10, where you can really start dishing out the damage on them, it changes a lot, because you can basically two-shot them at that point, I think it is. But now beginning to move forward. Kemel's looking to try and do a bit of damage here. He wants to pick these off before the mass begins to build. At the same time, towards the back of the base, the archers coming through. Attila playing very well up against Beastie here. At the same time, we see more upgrades coming in. He's heading into acid distillation. Also, we see horticulture coming in for Attila. He is playing a full greed, full eco style of Mongols. Not something that I've seen before. We've seen players go for double TC, triple TC, all that kind of shenanigan. But this is just a heavy focus. Is he looking to upgrade these as well? I've got to ask the question. Are these being upgraded by the Gur? They're not. They're not. Okay, so he's not going for the improved upgrade, which is something I know that Kanoki has tested with before. But at the moment, he's just going to focus on putting out as much pressure as he can while investing as little as he can. Only a handful of units on the field for him at the moment. 2 handfuls, rather. Attila now with 10 military population. Men-at-arms just fall back towards the base. He's a little bit scared of losing out position. Wants to make sure that he's got everything ready to roll. But now we see that Relic going to be picked up. Is he? He's not scouting. I was going to say, he's not scouting. Wait. He's got... Does this... Surely this doesn't work. Surely it's going to pick up this Relic, and then it's just going to walk over here, right? Surely that's what's going to happen. Wait. Oh, did he just command it to go back there? Because I'm trying to work out. Okay, and so now he's just changed the direction. I feel like he commanded that. I don't think it automatically went back to the prayer tent, right? I've seen Demu do it before, where he rallies out one shaman out to this Relic, then rallies it back to the prayer tent, and then rallies it out to the next Relic, and then rallies it back to the prayer tent, and that will work. But yeah, I guess there we had a little bit of manual intervention. But speaking of manually intervening, Beastie now going to be intervening in the feudal age and saying that is enough, it's time for the culture wing. And we start to see upgrades coming through behind this. Specialized pick and horticulture getting picked up for Beastie. At the same time looking for that phalanx upgrade and just wants to play it safe, play it defensive, and it looks like he is definitely gearing up towards that castle age push off. You know, we often talk about pushing off the wall. Look at this nice little patrol he's got down here on these relics. In fact, he's got plenty of units out here just guarding up the relics. Knows that the shamans are going to be coming out soon and wants to deny them. But Beastie, with all of this production down here, you can suspect there's a lot of production. You've got 1 barracks, 3 archery ranges here. Add in an extra 2 barracks and another archery range on the south side. 7 production facilities. He is looking to really close out this game in the castle age up against his opponent, Attila. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Look at the resources that he's got. Look at the amount of gold he's got stacked up here. He is ready. We're getting to see... We're ticking them off the list at the moment. What have we had? Okay, let's be real for a second. We've had the Ottoman Fast Imperial. We've had the French Fast Imperial. We've had the English Fast Imperial. What else have we had? Well, I guess there's your answer, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Mongol Fast Imperial. The Khaganate Palace going to be coming down here with 20 villages on it. Now, the Khaganate Palace, for anybody who doesn't know, because I need a refresher right here, it automatically spawns diverse armies from across the Mongol Empire and its dominions, which basically means a whole bunch of different random things. So think of it kind of like an Ottoman military school, except it gives you an army of units. So it can be things like palace guards, if I remember correctly. It can be like nest of bees. It's really random. If I remember, it also gives you the Hui Hui Pao, which is a very popular Black Eyed Peas song. But we do now start to see it is going to be warrior monks, and it's 40 seconds for the warrior monks to come out. I don't know whether you can cancel it or you just have to let it go. But yeah, look, I'd be embracing my Elsa right now, as you really just have to sit there and go, okay, it's going to come, and when it does, I will look to try and take advantage. But how does he defend? That's going to be the question on my mind. How does he hold? Because I think from a Fast Imperial perspective, the best thing that you can do right now is go into the cannon emplacement. I think getting a single cannon emplacement up and defending with men-at-arms is the most important thing you can do. And he needs to try and hold that off. And we can see Beastie starting to push in towards that enemy base. He's going to show his hand here. demonstrating that he's got a large military. Now, Attila also needs to look for upgrades himself. We can see that the men-at-arms yet to receive that veteran, or yet to receive that elite upgrade. No crossbowmen for the side of Beastie. He's got to be careful not to lose these units. Outposts going to be defending. Wololo, always going to be possible with the shaman in the back here. We hear those relics being picked up. And now have we already got the warriors out? Where are they at? Oh, they're here. They're here. Look at that. They're on the front line already. The warrior monks. What's coming up next? What do we got? We got the Hui Hui Pow. It's coming out, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to happen right now. Probably not the best role in this position. You ideally want like a nest of bees or something, but he's going to try and hold on this front. Hand cannoneer joining the fray. The veteran archers looking to try and tear apart these Gulams on the front line. Not going to have too much happiness as they do. Unfortunately, the numbers here just not the best, but where's the Hui Hui Pow? Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we got to get a picture of this. I know he's dying on the front line, but I need to know. I need to see it right now. Show me the money. Here it comes. Here it comes. Hold. Oh, what is going on? Where is it? There it is. Oh, my Lord. It's finally here. Jeez, it took some time coming out. And, well, it's not going well on the front here for Attila, but the question's going to be whether he can hold it. Palace guards are going to be the next one up, and remember, these are elite palace guards. Hui Hui Pow firing down the range. That was a pretty decent drive. I think he's probably hit about a 200-yarder right there. That was an impressive drive. Let's see how he does up against the battering rams. Where are you going, Hui Hui Pow? I feel like with your range, you should probably be maybe somewhere back here. You can't really be walled in, unfortunately, but how's he doing on... Yes, see, this is the problem. The stone. 375 stone for an emplacement. Just not going to be able to hold unless he's got that, because against this kind of infantry... And I honestly feel like Attila could be onto something here with the Mongol Fast Imperial. This is kind of wild when you think about it, right? Because you're getting all these free resources in. You don't have to worry about upgrades for them. There's the palace guards. Elite palace guards. 5 of them. What's he got coming up next? Another round of palace guards. Okay, the defense coming in. Beastie going up against one of the most unique Imperial strategies, or fast Imperial strategies we've ever seen. Firing off. Decent shot. Hits about 4 of them. He's got a mangonel at 18 range over here. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. This thing doesn't mess around. And I tell you what, I'm kind of thinking, do I become a Mongol main? I'm loving this so far. This is amazing, getting to watch this. Hui Hui Pow again. Hits the shot. Does a little bit of damage there. He's going to have to fall back away from it. Palace guards, you got to be careful. Look how much damage they're taking. My Lord. TC, Garrison it, baby. Garrison, get inside there. Battering rams coming through. He's going to have to hold on for dear life. More palace guards about to pop out of the Kaganet Palace. And now Beastie underneath the town center. He looks to try and take out these military units, the battering rams, dealing with the outposts. Hui Hui Pow unfolds. Palace guard's going to be running in on the backside. He needs a big shot here from the Hui Hui Pow. It's not that big. It's definitely not that impressive. And unfortunately, it looks like he's been cleaned up. Somehow, some way, he's going to need to hold with the numbers that he's got. But it's not good. He's been run around in circles right now. There's also the crossbowman. We hear the Khan going down behind this. Poor little Khan immediately just gets eviscerated. Oh, no, never mind. There he is right there. Was that Beastie hitting Imperial? The sounds are similar. But for the moment, it's going to be tough. I feel like, honestly, he could have won this game if it was just an outpost. A single outpost with a cannon emplacement would have won him this game. Because you can't really do a lot against that. And you just put it in the back of the base, you're not going to die. You might die. You might die. It'll buy you time. Kaganet Palace, what do we got? What's the next round of things? There it is, more palace guards. He's hit the triple palace guards. He's trying his best to hold on the Gulams, just tanking up the front. There's not enough armor upgrades on these bad boys. The archers will tear them apart. Town center, he manages to make it out of there. Still holding on, it's happening. We have the hold coming through right now. He's losing buildings though. The barracks under pressure. I tell you what, we're about, 18 minutes through this game, 19 minutes through this game, and he's had plenty of time in Imperial Age, but Beastie's just hit at the perfect timing. Really pushing off that edge of the pool and just going straight into the enemy base. And you can see right now that Attila, he's got no real answer, and that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Game over for Attila as Beastie runs over the top of him. Make sure you check out Beastie. I'll leave a link in the description, and make sure, if you haven't already pre-ordered the Sultan's Ascend, you go check it out on Steam. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can catch it, and we'll catch you in the next one.